Hey, this is Jim Craddock, and it is Saturday, April the 20th, 2024, and I am still bouncing around here. Uh, I've dealt with a lot as I've gone through this condition over the years. The last, two and a half years have been really rough. But the thing about this thing is that, uh, throughout the 28 years or whatever that I've had it, you have these long periods of kind of normalness between the transitions, and I've discussed that at length in my other videos. Even within this last 2 years, as I go through basically what the article said was that it unwinds everything that it had done, and you go kind of through everything almost backwards that you've been through over 25 years. You go through it, over a course of a couple years. But the same thing has happened. It's just a lot shorter timelines where you have periods of what feels like almost normalness, between whatever craziness happens. I mean, when this started 2.5 years ago in January, it started with, the first differences were stomach issues, weight loss, fluid loss, and then, I went into like kidney pain and headaches, and then I went into muscle pains, and I went into like muscle wall of the abdomen pains, but through after each one of these little things, basically whenever whatever has happened bad has happened, there's a time when it starts working on the next thing where you're generally not in pain. Now you may have some weirdness with bodily functions or whatever, but uh, you don't hurt as much. Now you may be weak, you may, be tired, whatever. But you have these kind of periods of okay, it's not as bad as it was. And so that's kind of where I've been for the last so the stomach stuff, so the arm pain and stuff like that finally basically all went away early March of this year. Uh, Immediately went to stomach stuff, went to where my stomach would be like aching every afternoon into the evening. And then there would be just some days, and and that's kind of where it's been even now. So here we are on 420, a magic day. And uh I've that's where I've been is that, I'll have aching, but that's really all, other than I still have some muscle pain in my arms when I do, some more extreme stuff. I definitely have weakness in my legs, but it's not like I'm in a lot of pain, and I've definitely had periods of a lot of pain. So, I'm thankful for that, and I'm well past where I ever expected to be at any point in my life, as far as just persevering. So I take every day as a gift, and I'm really, just kind of happy to be here. I may be tired, or maybe, but I try to do everything I can. So this year I have planted a garden. I have, sprayed weeds, planted the flower bed, weeded it, uh, uh, done other things, trimmed limbs off of the trees in the backyard and everything. And so, and I still do, all my own laundry. I still work right now. I'm maxed out on my PTO. I have 332 hours of PTO stored up, so I haven't been missing work. Uh, and they've needed me, so I've been getting stuff done, and so I feel like, hey, I'm not me, like I'm not the old me, but I'm not super far from it. Now, I will tell you, I'm bony. You can't see with this sweatshirt, and you really can't see, uh, uh, with even if I just have a t-shirt on as much. But I have lost all my muscle mass that I used to have, and my legs, oh my gosh, are. are much thinner, and that wasn't muscle. A lot of that was just fluid, and it causes everything to expand. But thanks to the tightening of the skin effect that this condition has, as it apoptifies the cells and everything, still have nice tight skin, no sagging. So, overall, of course, I can complain, but I'm just glad to be here. I have no I it could be to, what happens next is, my intestines will stop working, and that could be tomorrow. It may be today. I don't know. I mean, I can tell you that things don't move like they used to. I'll put it that way. And so I, you know, I, I have no, uh, expectations. I just take it one day at a time and go from there. I mean, it is what it is, and I'm just doing the best I can. And I feel bad. I have posts scheduled out in the future, and some of those are on Twitter, and I always forget the Twitter ones, and they get posted, and I'm just like, well, thank God, not too many people look at my Twitter because it literally says I died from. And I'm still alive, so that would be false. But it's out there in the future, and I keep having to bump it out, just like I have to bump out all these emails that I have and everything. And hey, I'm grateful for those days and having to bump it out. And I feel stupid when I let something slip through, but luckily I haven't let any emails slip through in a long, long time. Just the Twitter posts is the only thing. So uh it is what it is. I didn't expect this to get. I'm going to get to see my son's third play since the first one, when I didn't think I would get to see the first one. The night of his first play that he was in, my heart rate was around 100. I was definitely having, basically, it has to do with the weakening of the heart, and when the circulatory changes take place and everything, and so you start kind of closing off blood vessels, and my heart was getting overworked until those blood vessels got closed off. And but here I am over 2 years later, and it's just a crazy condition that, I talked to my orthopede at my last appointment, which, really, other than my neurologist, whenever that follow-up appointment is, I don't know, because I don't mark stuff down on the calendar when they tell me, oh, it's 3 months out. I'm like, well, I probably won't be there. But, I talked to my orthopede, and I said, well, you don't have anything that can explain everything I've been through since my muscles started aching, back in July. She's like, no. That's like the only thing that even comes close, and she named some condition that was, that a rheumatologist would have identified, and she's like, and so that's not it. And I was in extreme pain, muscle tearing pain. I couldn't straighten my arm, different things like that, and no, absolutely no medical explanation for it, and there is, but the problem is that they've redacted it. And so, I'm just pushing along day to day. I'm not doing any doctor's visits. I'm eating whatever the hell I want, really. Today I had a Bavarian cream donut for breakfast. And if that's the last donut I ever eat, then I'm super glad I ate it. Uh, so, I'm just trying to make do. And I'm pretty thankful for everything that I have. Bitcoin's been doing well. It's down a little bit, but it's pretty near an all-time high right now. The halving was yesterday, and ruins and ordinals are really bringing up the fee levels for the miners. So I don't expect many miners to drop off, which means they're going to be spending money on mining, which means they'll be spending money on Bitcoin, and so. Bitcoin's just going to keep going up. I see easily 200,000 within the next 2 years, I think. And, uh, you know, I, I'm super happy for that. So anyway, this is just me saying, hey, I've got this weird condition that I gave myself to save myself from another condition that I would have died from, that the doctors wouldn't have resolved. And it was in the most crazy circumstances in the world. I was in a mental institution at the time because I hadn't been able to sleep because of the condition that I was going to die from. Uh, and you know, share my story. Uh, the government, not the government, so most likely the WHO, but definitely the government's involved on some level in places on things like this. But this information is not out there, and so people have decided that, hey, there was all this research that was done. We've published on this before and stuff, but you know what? We're not going to let it hit the internet. It's never going to be in electronic format, and people are just not ever going to get taught about it or learn about it. And we could have learned something from that, but hey, let's just hide it because we don't want people to know that they are able to put their body in this weird state that where electrolytes are controlled by the pituitary, and which means possibly that it could help with other conditions, because in the end they end up dying from that conversion. So uh, you know, spread my story. I'm not a crazy person, and that's what I get treated like basically by most physicians. And that's why I don't go, I've stopped. And I'm just going to stick it out. I'm super glad to have seen my son go to the prom. He's got a great girlfriend. He is entering college in the fall, and I've been able to assure him that financially he's covered for college if I'm here, if I'm not here. So I'm content. And hey, work has gone well. We got this implementation done. If I was to fall off the face of the earth tomorrow, they probably would have a hard time. But if you give me another, say, 2 weeks, I think that they'll be able to make it along without me. So I'm not hurting especially much. So I don't have a right to complain right at the moment. I know that I don't have a long future ahead of me. But hey, plenty of people know that, and they get by, and I'm treating it as, hey, this is an experience, and I'm gonna make the most of it. My wife wants me to go to New Orleans with her in about a month. I've said sure. Really, I have no idea if I'll be here in a month, but uh, I'm like, why not say yes? Uh, and if it turns into a no, then it turns into a no. But yeah, I'm better off saying yes. Uh, and that's it. I don't have anything. There was something I was thinking about the other day. Let me see. I'm going to pause for a second and see if I can remember. Yeah, I don't remember. There's so much of this that I haven't documented that I do have in my head from reading the original article over and over again when I ran across it. And it's part of my thinking, but I just forget to tell people, or because there's just so much involved and so much going on, and it's all such weird science compared to kind of what people expect things to be, that something that I kind of take for granted, nobody else in the world would have ever thought of. So anyway, I've documented as best I can, and maybe somebody somewhere will figure out where the original research is, and they'll reintroduce it to the world. I don't know. But hey, it was in a book. When I read the book, and it was a diagnostic manual, so it was in the public uh, forum and available, and it is not online. So somebody somewhere made a decision that, hey, we should not put that online, and for whatever reason, uh, uh, that's definitely what happened. I'm not sitting here lying to you, and I think if you're watching this one, then there's like 50 other videos, and obviously I'm not around anymore. So obviously I was telling the truth. Uh, and it is what it is. I'm doing the best I can, and I feel like I'm doing all right at it. So hey, peace out. Buy some Bitcoin. There's still plenty of time. It's gonna go up forever. The only thing to ever worry about really is quantum issues, and I assume that they will fix those, their vulnerabilities. But uh, other than that, I think up up only is pretty much, if you zoom out, up only. So, and really, that's it for today. Share my story, like I said, hey, forward my YouTube page and my story. If you're in the medical world, maybe get interested and figure out, hey, this terminal onset diabetes insipidus with candidiasis, this major thing that he had. What really is that? Maybe I can go find that original diagnostic manual or the research. It's going to be in medical library somewhere. It's not like they threw those books away. So anyway, that's it. And I will talk to you later, hopefully. If not, hey, I just realized I was doing the best I could.